Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is the great and powerful Zilla, and today I'm going to briefly touch on some of the things that are going on in the game. God, there's so many things going on at the same time. If there's anything you can say about wargaming is they do provide a lot of content. Now, as of today, it is November 6th, and yet in the game, Halloween is still going on. Let me show you what I mean. When you go to your battle select thing, you've got this scenario here, Sunray in the Darkness. There's another one called Saving Transylvania. And then you have Twilight Battle. Now, a lot has been said about Twilight Battle. I'll get into that in a minute. But these are related to a mission that you picked up in your news feed, okay, that you wanted to participate in. And it's under personal assignments. It's this one right here. It's for the anniversary, and you have to go into, in this case, it would be Sunray in the Darkness, win the battle and destroy one ship. Destroying one ship is not the problem, it's winning the battle. And the reward for that frustration is 2 camouflages. If you need camouflage, this might be something you're interested in. If you don't, it might not be worth the aggravation because the reward is simply not worth it. Now let's talk about the filth. Now this battle mode, you go in on a team of 3 ships and you run around and you collect filth. Filth is dropped, or it's on the map, or you get it from destroying enemy ships. Ideally, Wargaming had the idea that you would be shooting at each other. Smart players who are not asses go in there and with a truce, everybody gets their filth and they leave because it's a grind. I'll tell you why. In order to collect these prizes, you have to have so much filth. In this case, 8,000. You see, I have 4,300 here. The only way to get this is by collecting the filth and getting out of the portal. It's a lot easier if everybody just goes, collects their filth, and gets out of the portal without shooting up each other. Now, I've seen a couple of games where there were groups of assholes who decided to blockade the portal and collect the filth that dropped off our ships that were sunk. I wasn't one of them, but I've seen that. I've seen other games where people went in and decided to just go shoot at everything. Okay, well, that's your business. I've been informed that one of the community contributors did this and was blasted for it. With all due respect, rightfully so. Wargaming contrived this grind and gave players an easy way to get it done, and then somebody's going to be a jerk and decide to do that. So if you're going to do this battle for the filth, okay, the Twilight battle, then by God, just go in there, get your filth, get out of the portal, and don't bother shooting anybody, real players. There's plenty of AI bots to shoot at. Just go in there, collect your stuff, and get done. Also, they changed the way these ships work. If you remember in the past, you used to have to buy them from using filth. Okay? Well, in this case, you have a little tech tree. All right? And on the tech tree, these things keep popping up over here. I don't know why it does this every time I want to do a video. On the tech tree, you just go down the tech tree and get it. So this is the Republic. This is the Yamato. And this is the Montana. All right? So these. Now, what rewards do you get for that? Well, nothing really earth-shaking, guys. Okay? Lots of, lots of flags and things like that, coal and credits and whatnot. All right? But you also get the chance to get this permanent camouflage. I don't like it, so I'm never going to use it. But if you happen to have a tier 10 ship that you don't have permaflage on, and you need something to throw on there until you're able to get permaflage, then this might be an option for you. Okay? Now, the key with this thing is you can put it on any tier 10 ship, but once it's there, it's there. You can't take it off of that ship and put it on another one. Okay? It's going to be on that ship forever. All right? So you get a bunch of signals and Commander XP and stuff like that, coals and credits, and stuff for doing this. For example, this one here, I got 3,000 coal, 150,000 credits. Credits are nice. The coal is more important to me because I'm working on getting the Thunderer. All right. Now, while we're on the screen, let's talk about Italian cruisers. Once you have all the bundles, these, then and you get to Genova, then you're probably going to want to invest in this. I mean, you pick your poison, but for me, this is more bang for the buck. All right, you get 70 of these Italian tokens, and you spend it on these crates that have a chance of dropping an early access cruiser. I've got the tier 5, I've got the Genova. Outside of that, your mileage may vary, but good luck to you. I've known quite a few guys that got the Trento and whatnot. All right, don't know anybody that's got the Alpha yet. All right, so there's that going on, and that is tied to this. And you do these directives, and you finish them off, and you get your prizes. For example, in this one, you get 20 of these tokens and 3 flooding flags. All right, so the hard part with this is this 12,000 base XP. I really, really wish that wargaming would go away from this. And I have time to play, but most people don't, and this takes a long time to do. 12,000 base XP, and it doesn't account for premium time. So you're going to be grinding for a very long time and many, many battles to get that base XP. All right? And to me, it seems a little excessive. They could have made this regular XP or give us a damage number or a number of flags or something, like that to collect on these things instead of the base XP. I really wish they would get away from the base XP idea behind this. All right? And, again, you just do these directives. For example, the fight hard earn 10,000 XP. This one costs 3 million damage to ships, and you get 2 prizes that way. And then you go to the store, and you get, at the end of the day, you're going to get 3 of these containers and 250 tokens, and a chance to get early access Italian cruisers, which is a good thing. All right, so that's going on. The Halloween stuff's still going on. My understanding is this Twilight Battle thing is going to be lasting all the way to December 10th. So once again, my Russian friends, you don't understand how a calendar works, and Halloween is a nice holiday here in the United States, but it's not a permanent holiday. Once Halloween is over, everybody gears up for Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we're really not in the mood for anything Halloween related unless you're of that nature. Okay? But I guess Halloween must be a big deal in the Belarus. Twilight battles are nice. They're there. You don't have to do them, but they're always going to be there. All right? And they're going to be there, my understanding is, until about December 10th. So maybe one day our friends in Russia will figure out how the Western world works and how a calendar operates. Okay, they could easily turn that into something like a Thanksgiving event. Chase turkeys and whatnot. All right, so there's that. I have one major bitch, and it has to do with carriers. And I'm going to show you gameplay on this carrier. This is the Hakuryu. But if you go to your personal missions, once you have a tier 10, most of them have these personal missions attached to them. All right, like Into the Labyrinth for the Minotaur, where you have to collect, do all these missions, and then you get a unique upgrade. Well, I got the unique upgrade for the Midway, and lo and behold, I went to the Midway. Let me go to it, and it's not there. And I'm like, what the hell? So I did a little bit of research and found out that you can get it and it will be hidden in your inventory, okay? But you will not be able to equip it because they're concerned with balance. I could go on a spree of rage tirade about this nonsense balance. There's nothing balanced about carriers. You've nerfed them into oblivion. What's balanced about carriers? The Midway one gave your planes a little bit, your attack planes, the rocket planes, a little bit of extra armor. That was it. You know, at the cost of slowing them down a little bit. All right? I don't see the problem, but Wargaming does, and they're not going to let you put your unique upgrades that you've worked so long and so hard to get onto your carriers. And to me, it's not fair. But then again, it's another slap in the face to CV carriers and another evidence of this rework being a complete farce. Because most of the time on a carrier, you're excluded from competitive play anyway. You can't bring them into clan wars. You can't bring it into ranked. And then they finally did bring it into ranked. Then people bitched. So they just put them out of ranked. You get the idea. Okay? But this whole series is pretty much the same for every ship. You have to do 10,000 XP, then you have to have 8 million credits, then you get 15,000 free XP, then 15 battles. That's the easiest one. And then the final stage, this pain in the patukas right here, the 40,000 base XP. And once you're done with all that, you get your unique upgrade, which on a carrier, you're not allowed to put on. However, in fairness, most of these are garbage anyway. All right? So the penalty usually outweighs the benefit that you get from these things. Just FYI. For example, the Shimikaze. Some people like it, some people don't. The Shimikaze one, man, oh man, you talk about unfair. All right, the Shimikaze upgrade. Here's where the unique upgrade is. All right. So you get your. I have Torpedo Tubes mod. It reduces the reload time and increases the chances of it getting incapacitated. This one decreases the reload time by 25%. This one by 15%. So you get an extra 10% on your reload. But it slows the torpedo tubes down in their traverse by 80%. And then it also increases the chance of the torpedo tubes being incapacitated by 50%. The penalty outweighs the benefit there. You know, it really does. It way outweighs the benefit. So, you know, it's up to you and your gameplay style, but to me, it's definitely not worth it on the Shimikaze. Some others are worth it. I deem the one for the Montana particularly to be worth it. So that's my little rant, if you will, on that. Everybody else is allowed to get their upgrades and use them except for carriers because they want to be jerks about it at wargaming. Well, it's going to affect balance. What balance? You never had balance. What the hell are you talking about balance? You wouldn't know balance if it walked up and bit you on the ass. What about balance? Give carriers something. Good God, you've taken away everything else. Jesus, don't get me started on that. So without further ado, let's move into a battle. And I'm going to point out some things in this battle that maybe you've noticed and maybe you haven't on carriers, but we're going to take a look at it, and I'll talk to you then. Okay? Okay, so random battle. And looking over the roster. And what I'm looking at right now is destroyers that I want to torture and kill. Because on a carrier at this juncture, because of all the whining and bitching that has gone on in the forums by destroyer captains, I make it a point to make their lives as miserable as I possibly can whenever I play a carrier of any tier. I will go out of my way to torture that destroyer. So I'm flying out on the flank. Now there's 2 carriers on each team. It appears that the other carrier, the Midway on my team, has sent his planes down that way. Whereas I am going to send my planes down that way. So we cover both sides of the map. Okay? So I'm heading on down here. And my goal is to find the destroyer that's on this side. There's always a destroyer on this side. But if you watch his fighter planes, you will notice that they are going to shadow me. And what I believe the enemy carrier is trying to do is look for an opportune moment to drop fighters to protect something. What's he protecting? Probably a destroyer, and he's probably over here somewhere. So I run into that Hindenburg over there, and he starts to chip away at my planes a little bit with anti-aircraft fire. That's fine. Okay, there's the destroyer, Yu Yang. All right, so Yu Yang's got pretty good anti-aircraft defense, so I'm going to bank out of that, and I'm not going to make an attack run. No, 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 no. I am going to circle around and keep him spotted for my team. Now, why? Well, you will notice that he has dropped fighters. Okay? So I'm not going to go in there and get wiped out by fighters. So I'm going to move my carrier forward behind this island, I think. Yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to move over there. And since the threat on that side of the map is only a Yu Yang and a Hindenburg, which was headed the opposite direction, the only thing on that side of the map is going to be a Yu Yang. I also noticed that our ships over here are moving away and from that side of the map and moving toward the middle of the map. So I'm going to bring my planes back around. I'm going to bank around. And right now I'm just scouting. I am letting our team know via the minimap which direction the enemy team is moving. And there is a very, very suspicious looking smoke cloud there. My bet would be that's from the Yu Yang, who's about to be spooked out of it by the gearing who fired off all those torpedoes. Okay? So, let's see if we can find this little bugger. There's the Hindenburg. He's heading the other direction, see? The Hindenburg's heading over to the west, or the east. The smoke cloud has dissipated, but I'm still not spotting the Yu Yang. This is something Wargaming has done. They have nerfed the spotting distance of your aircraft. So I'm looking for him. Looking for him, looking for him, looking for him. He's around here somewhere. He's not going away. And my belief is that his goal is to try and either A, take me out, or B, sneak into A and cap that. Okay? So I'm going to keep hunting him. I'm going to torture his sorry little ass. I'm going to stay on him like white on rice. I'm not going to let him go unspotted for long. I'm going to find him. And hopefully my team will be able to take him out. He's over here somewhere. You see our gearing has gone in there? And there he is. He's going to try and cap A. Okay, so I'm going to keep him spotted. I'm going to come over to our gearing, who's under attack by enemy aircraft right now. I'm going to drop fighters over him. Then in addition to fending off the enemy airplanes, it will also help our gearing keep that Yu Yang spotted. So I'm going to come over here and we're going to see if we can't launch some rockets against this Yu Yang. And this will be my first attack of the game. And I do about 2,000 damage, not bad. But I'm making him very nervous. And right now, a destroyer captain in his position would be like, God damn, I wish that carrier would leave me alone. Nope, not going to happen, pal. You're probably one of those bastards that get on the forums and cry like a baby whenever a carrier does something like this to you. And you deserve it. You deserve every bit of it. You deserve to be as miserable as a Cleveland Browns fan. You deserve everything I give to you. Regardless, I'm ranting. Moving down, straight down the middle. First of all, I'm scoping to see if anything's trying to sneak on down through there. You'll notice that they're starting to lose a little bit of ships there. They lost one. Okay, so but I'm never going to leave A completely alone. I'm going to bend it back over that way. I'm going to see where that Yu Yang is, and I'm going to make him make a mistake. Yep, I'm going to make him make a mistake. I'm going to come over here, and I am going to drop torps on top of his head, and he's going to panic and he's going to move, and then there he is. Okay, he's spotted again. Goddamn sky cancer won't leave me alone. Wee, 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 wee. What you going to do when subs come in the game? You're going to complain about them the same way? Probably. So I'm going to launch these torps in a wide spread. You notice that V? Okay, they go out a little bit wide. And I'm not going to leave that Yu Yang alone until he's gone. I'm going to keep him spotted for our gearing. Gearing is launch torps in a wide spread. I am going to launch torps as well. I don't know if they're going to hit or not. I doubt they will, but they make him move. They make him dodge, and every time he turns, he loses a little bit of speed. And one of the gearing's torps hit him, and the other one hit him, and that's it for the Yu Yang. Bye-bye. Go back to the forums and cry some more, you little bastard. Bye-bye. So now I'm going to take my torpedo planes out, and I'm going to see if I can't torture somebody else. Because looking at the roster on the top of the screen, I see that there's still one destroyer there. And it is written, "Thou shalt not let a destroyer live." And that just happens to be a very dangerous destroyer. It happens to be a Shimikaze. But oh look, there's a Hindenburg. And he's moving across the center of the map with his back up against an island, so he cannot maneuver. And I'm going to drop torps on him. And now you're going to start to see my damage start to rise. It's going to start to increase. Because at this juncture of the game, I've gone from scout mode to attack mode. I have now determined where the enemy is going. I have helped my team. I have dropped fighters. I have scouted. And I've tortured 2 destroyers to death. Now I'm going after that group. And they have piled up all in this area right here. So I got bombers up here. And unbeknownst to me, there's a sneaky Minotaur that's coming into A. Now, I didn't know that at the time. I dropped fighters at the entrance. And I go back after this Hindenburg. Now, there are some anti-aircraft monsters over here. There is a Worcester and a Yoshino over here in addition to this Hindenburg. Hindenburg's dead in the water, so I'm going to try and drop bombs on him. But we're coming in on an oblique angle, and they straddle his ship. When I come out of the dive, I'm in the anti-aircraft range of the Yoshino and the Worcester, and somebody has put fighters up. That's that firing that you hear. But I'm going to try anyway. That Worcester darn near dead. So I'm coming down, and he got me. Wiped out my squadron. Okay. That's not a problem. All I did was reaffirm the spotting in that area. Alright. So I'm going to come back down again. This time I'm coming with rocket planes. We're going to take out some anti-aircraft defenses. We're going to start some fires maybe. You know, something. And there's some fighters that were dropped right there. You see them on the left-hand side of the screen. Coming in, coming in, coming in. And firing. And fighters are back up on me. They're on my butt. When you get in a situation like this where fighters are on your tail, always bank out of it, either left or right. Okay? Then you'll mitigate some of the damage. Didn't necessarily help me on that run, but it might help you. It's helped now and again. The fighters come in a straight line. They're strafing at you. If you bank out of it a little bit, you might mitigate some of that damage. Okay? Hindenburg's on such low health, he's probably not going to survive. Okay?
Fighter airborne. Taking fire. Engaging enemy.
Now, on a carrier, it's not always about doing major amounts of damage now. It's about doing things to support your team to help them win. And there's that damn Shimikaze. Oh, no, 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 no. We can't leave the Shimikaze alone, but we're in an attack run right now, so I'm doing a little flying Shimikaze here. I'm going to drop torps just to get these guys to move, maybe make them turn broadside to our team, scatter them a little bit, make them a little bit nervous about torps being in the water, that sort of thing. But the bottom line is, they're being overwhelmed right now by our team. All right, so I'm going to bring bombers back up. And I see that A is being flipped. Our team is notifying me A is being flipped. Okay. Now make no mistake, the Minotaur is an extremely good cruiser. It's very good at AA. It's very dangerous. But it has major weaknesses too. It's very squishy and it relies on stealth. Okay. So I'm going to come in there and I'm going to spot the hell out of them. And you can see the anti-aircraft is just monstrous. Okay. So I'm coming down and I'm going to see if I can drop on them. And bonsai. There's some bombs and I get a citadel and some bomb damage and he shuts down all my planes, which is typical with the Minotaur. It's a very, very good anti-aircraft ship. It's a very good cruiser either way, but we have a Minotaur out here. And if I can give our Minotaur some sort of advantage over their Minotaur, then so much the better. Now that Minotaur over there, he don't want to poke that edge, but he's a little bit too late for that. And our Minotaur got him. So A is now open for us to retake. Not that it really matters right now because they're rapidly running out of ships. But I have rocket planes and there's still a Shimikaze in the game. That Shimikaze must go. No, we cannot allow a Shimikaze to live. I swear to you, sometimes I get more pleasure out of just spotting them and torturing them like that than I do actually shooting at them. Regardless, I'm running out of planes too. This has been very expensive as far as planes go. So I'm just looking at the mini-map, seeing, okay, what's out here? What are we doing? Worcester firing away with high explosive at our Minotaur. That Worcester has lived under a lucky star. He has just barely lived through all this. He's been on low health for so long. But I think his luck's about to run out. Yes, it is. Our Minotaur takes him out. Yoshino is open to my attack. Now, to his credit, this Yoshino actually does a good job of evading my torpedoes. But in the process, he leaves himself vulnerable to attack by our ships. Okay? So the Yoshino does the right thing. He turns into my torpedoes. You see? And he comes up track. And he's at an oblique angle. So I'm going to come so that yellow is even with his front. And I'm going to launch those torps. Now, all he has to do to avoid those torps is bend a little bit to the right. If he does that, then he's broadside to our Minotaur. Okay? But what he does is actually pretty smart. He stops. He slows down and he stops the torps passing by. That gives me a cross drop on him. I drop that one torpedo out of my squadron that was left, and I bring up rocket planes again. And that torpedo hit. He lost way too much speed, bobbing and weaving around, and eventually it caught up with him, and I got him with a torpedo on the nose. All right. Usually, if you hit a torpedo on the nose or the tail, on the bow or the stern, then you're going to create flooding. So coming back around, what do we got? We got a carrier back there. It would be pure suicide for me to go after that carrier. We got a Shimikaze and we have a Grossa Kurfürst. But it's game over. We won on points. Okay? So, scout, guys, on your carriers. Scout on your carriers. Do things to make them make mistakes. You may not get the biggest damage numbers, but you're going to benefit your team greatly and you'll end up with a win. In this case, I won, ended up making 53,000 credits. Not fantastic, but I'll take it any day of the week over a loss. In the meantime, you guys be good to each other and have a great, great day.